But if you look at the derivatives and credit default swaps, that is a Ponzi scheme in itself. And in my book, I give the amount of derivatives and credit default swaps that each bank owns, the largest ones. And Chase
Webster Tarpley says it's 1.5 quadrillion. Is that accurate?
That's total derivatives, yes. Now, the banks don't have that. They have about 1/50th of that in assets. For example, J.P. Morgan Chase Bank has something a little over $1 trillion in total capitalization, and they've got 54 times that outstanding in derivatives. So that's a Ponzi scheme.
We've got a break. Let's come back and talk about what their master plan is, because they're bragging they want a new Bank of the World out of all this, out of the crisis they created. Then we'll talk about solutions with our guest.
When looking,
Robert Gaylon Ross is our guest in studio. He'll be with us 20 minutes to the next hour. We're going to have open phones. Also, the mainstream media has chickened out. They're not responding to Charlie Sheen's challenge to a debate. They want to just sit up there and misrepresent what he said about 9/11. I got a pretty hot text message from Charlie earlier today. He is just sick and tired of these cowards. And I was talking to the guys. They were saying TMZ covered Charlie going in to have dinner the other night with Buzz Aldrin. Charlie called Jim and says, hey, one of my friends knows Buzz Aldrin. I'm going to dinner with him. And then Charlie goes to dinner and it becomes a news item. That's something else. So maybe cue that up. Maybe after Gaylon leaves us, we'll play that if you can find it. What the elite have done to America and how to fix it. Robert Gaylon Ross Sr. This is a short segment, but long segment coming up. We'll get more into the book after that. But getting into the bankers, what makes them tick? What is their world plan? We know they're eugenicists. We know it's come out. The White House science czar admits they want to cull the world population, that they want a world government to carry that out. What will the planet look like if we're unable to stop these people?
It'll just be less than 1% of the super wealthy, and the rest of us will be peons, from normal peons down to sub-peons. And there'll be one monetary system, one around the world, all controlled probably out of Brussels. And the Rothschilds keep their money in Switzerland so that nobody can ever find out what they really have.
And you notice that they've only been selectively taking the bank accounts of people with like $1 million. They're taking the low-level nobody's money out of these offshore corporations when it's admitted the Rockefellers have more than 10,000 shell corporations just in the Bahamas and the Caymans alone.
That's right. And but no one touches the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers' money. No one will report on it. It's suicide to really get into any details on Rockefellers and Rothschilds.
Well, it is suicide. I'm always reading about Rockefeller secretaries, Rockefeller CEOs. If somebody in an oil company doesn't do what they're told, they commit suicide, shotgun in the back of the head. Rockefeller company's CEO committed suicide. James McDonald shot himself in the head yesterday.
Probably in the back of the head. With a double-barrel shotgun.
Now, they do that when some criminality comes out to say, oh, he did it, he's dead. Or this guy may have taken a little something for himself.
Well, you never know. And you can't ever trust the news from the major news media. They lie. The elite own or control all news media except radio. Of course.
Yeah, a few handful of radio shows and internet, which Jay Rockefeller admits they want to shut down.
Oh, yeah. And eventually they'll try to control the internet. And the internet is one, and talk radio is our last sources of real facts about what's going on in the world. And they'll naturally have to shut all that down.
Yeah, the White House diversity czar at the FCC said we need to look at what Hugo Chavez has done with his media fairness.
Right.
And Chavez, I mean, I'm glad he defeated the expansion of North American Free Trade of America's area. I'm glad he helped shoot down the free trade area of the Americas. But now they're creating a socialist model of that, and Chavez is shutting down free speech in Venezuela.
Well, yeah, but if you look at the net effect of Chavez, he has stopped the creation of the American Union single-handedly.
So you like Chavez?
Well, I like most of what he does because he's trying to get in the way of the creation of the global union, and he's been very successful in all of South America. And people wonder why he associates with Gaddafi and Ahmadinejad and some of the others. Well, hell, that's the only people out there available that'll talk to him, so why not?
Well, I mean, Gaddafi was the big boogeyman, but now he's a darling of the West. Right. So they do the same thing. Saddam's our buddy one day, he's evil the next. Bin Laden's a hero one day, next day he attacked us. So, I mean, certainly, I just really do see him clamping down on the media and free speech and trying to stay in power. And, I mean, I see him as another Fidel Castro. But I do like what he did to the free trade area of the Americas. I mean, he did help kill that.
Well, and he also set up the Bank of the South, which is the central bank of all of South America, owned by the South American nations, funded by Brazil, Argentina, and Venezuela. And they loan money to other nations of Latin America at very low interest rates so they can pay off their loans to the IMF and the World Bank.
Who charge 30% compounded.
That's right. But
let's finish up with Chavez, fractional reserve banking, the elite master plan, and then how to fix it from your perspective. Robert Gaylon Ross, author, researcher, is our guest in studio.